Yes, good afternoon dear students. So in the yesterday's class we have covered up with the medium transmission line performance. So first we saw the end condenser method wherein all the capacitance was assumed to be lumped at the back end of the transmission line, and we happened to solve one problem on that. Then after that we saw the T model representation of the transmission line where it was assumed that the capacitance is present at the center of the transmission line and the parameters R and L of the line were assumed to be distributed into halves across the lines. Okay, the line is considered to be divided into equal two halves. Okay, now the third part of analysis or the third type of analysis is your pi model. So yesterday I briefed to you about it. So I will just draw the circuitry. So I have put the same PPT here which I have given to you as notes. So hope it is visible to you. Okay, so I will just redraw it here once again. So now in this pi model, as I told you, the capacitance is assumed to be present at both ends of the line in halves. Okay, so that is, it is divided by 2 at both ends of the line. So the normal model I am drawing here, the regular one. So let me call it as R, let me call XL, this is your sending end current. Okay, then we have the load here. Okay. So what is the current, what I have to indicate? It is IR. Then here you have the drop VR. Okay, then now what are you supposed to show? We are supposed to show the capacitance distribution. So you are aware with VS, IS, IR, VR, R and XL. The capacitance now, okay, is present here, okay, at the two ends of the line. Okay, so you can call it as C by 2 and C by 2. Okay, call this as neutral. Okay, so it is divided into two halves. So one half is lumped at the sending end and the other half is lumped at the receiving end. Okay, so here at sending end it will have no effect on the line drop, okay, because it is present in the initial part itself. Okay, but this is definitely going to have the effect. So we will write, so I will neglect this, and for this we will write it as IC1. Okay, so I will draw the phasor diagram. So first is your VR, and correspondingly, see always, okay, you just draw this VR and IR, the angle is phi r. So I have represented VR, IR, angle is phi r. Okay, now there is again a leading current IC1. Okay, so there is a leading current. Okay, you can call it as IC1, and there is a small current. See, you can call this as IC2 also. Okay, so this resultant, now here we have missed IL. Okay, so this is the load current which is flowing. So the resultant of your IR and IC1 should be the load current. This is your IL. Then I have another leading current IC2. Okay, and this resultant is nothing but your IS. Yeah, this resultant is IS. Okay, now here if you observe now, in parallel with your IL, okay, I have to represent the drop across your resistance, and with a 90 degree phase shift I have to represent the drop IL into XL. So in parallel with IL, okay, so let me write VR here on top. So in parallel with IL, I draw the drop, okay, and let me call it as IL into R, and with a 90 degrees phase shift, I will represent IL into XL, and finally this is nothing but the total drop, the resultant. So as I told you, this will not have any effect, so we are not representing that. So this is your resultant Vs. Fine. So now the angle between your Vs and Is, yes, this angle you can call it as phi s. Fine. So this vector diagram is very important. You have itself all the expressions can be written. Okay, so we'll just write few expressions there. So first I will write for charging current. Okay, so I will write only for this at load end. So at load end, so it is IC1, you can mention. So IC1 is j omega into C by 2 it is VR. So here see one more name for this is also half line charging. We call it as half line charging admittance. So it will be again, once again you will come across this when we are dealing with the Y bus in your further semesters. So for C I have substituted, it is J 2 pi FC, okay, into VR. So that C is nothing but C by 2. Okay, then line current. IL will be, so you can look at the phasor diagram. So IL is IR plus IC1. Okay, then sending end voltage. Vs will be VR plus, okay, so Vs will be VR plus, see this drop, okay, so I missed this, so you can just show a dotted line here for your convenience. Okay, so this will be what, IL into Z, okay, so it is VR plus IL into, so in place of Z I will write it as JR plus JXL. Okay, so that is, so I have not shown it here, okay, but you can just represent it. Okay, this is IS into Z. Here you can just show IC2. Okay, I have forgotten to mention it there, so please mention IC2 there. Then charging current at sending end we will write. So charging current at the sending end, so it is IC2 now. So IC2 will be, so try analyzing, so it will be J omega into C by 2. So that C by 2 is regarded as C. Okay, so that is, so in place of omega I will write 2 pi F C into Vs. Then finally last one, your sending end current. Okay, so sending end current Is will be IL. Okay, so you can see here sending end current Is will be IL plus IC2. IL plus IC2. Okay, so these are the formulae that you have to keep in mind for solving your problems. So we'll take up one quick problem on a pi method, and then we will start with your pending part of the analysis, that is long transmission line. I think the problem, one problem is placed here. I'll scroll it down. same problem we will solve here in the class. Okay, hope it is visible to you. I'll just scroll it further up. Okay. Fine. Please take down. A three-phase 50 hertz. A three-phase 50 hertz. 150 kilometer line has a resistance inductive reactance and capacitive shunt admittance of 0.1 ohms, 0.5 ohms and 3 into 10 raised to minus 6 Siemens per kilometer per phase. If the line delivers 50 megawatt at 110 kV and 0.8 power factor lag, yes, sorry, there is one small mistake here. Yes, this 2 will not come. Okay, sorry. So this 2 will not come because it gets cancelled here. Okay, C by 2 it gets cancelled. So please make that correction. If the line delivers 50 megawatt at 110 kV and 0.8 power factor lag, determine the sending end voltage and current. Assume a nominal pi circuit for the line. Assume a nominal pi circuit for the line. Okay. So try writing the given values first, all of you. Try writing the given values. Okay. So we'll consider the same circuitry. Okay, and you refer to the same phasor diagram. Okay, and I will write all the solution part here. So what all they have given? They have given resistance, total resistance per phase. Okay, so this is they have given 0.1 ohms. Okay, it is per kilometer and per phase. So 0.1. So it is all per phase analysis only which I am writing. So I am not multiplying the factor √3. So this is 15 ohms. Then total reactance per phase, they have given 0.5. So XL is 0.5 into 150. So this comes out to be 75. Then capacitive admittance per phase, so into 10 raised to minus 6, so you indicate it as Y. So this will be 3 into, see it is not capacitance, okay. So given capacitive admittance, please try to understand that. So it is 3 into 10 raised to minus 6 into 150, so this is 45 into 10 raised to minus 5 Siemens. Then receiving end voltage per phase, so what was told yesterday? So since they have given the line voltage, you have to convert it into voltage per phase. So you have to divide it by root 3. Okay. So this is equal to VR, and that is 110 kV therefore. So I have taken root 10 raised to 3. So this comes out into is equal to 63,508 volts. So these are the given values. So from this I have to calculate load current. So load current IR will be (15 to 10 raised to 6). So I told you have to use the formula. Power is root 3 VI cos phi. Substitute all the values. So they have given 0.8 power factor lag. So the answer comes out to be 328 amperes. And what else they have given? They have given cos phi. So if cos phi is 0.8, okay, the angle is 36.86. So sin phi will be 0.6. Okay. So always for us now, receiving end voltage is the reference phasor. So I will rub this now. Okay, so we will start with the calculations. So receiving end voltage VR is VR plus J0. So I'll directly write the answer. So it is 63,508 volts. Okay. So now what I have to do? I have to calculate load current, or you can say receiving end current IR. So the same formula what you have been using for the previous two analysis. Okay. Cos phi r minus J sin phi r. So you will get it as I have the answers here, 262.4 minus J 196.8. Okay, so through this, okay, you can just analyze and write it. Then after that, the IR you found out, you have to find out IC1. So charging current IC1, okay, that is at load end. Okay. IC1 will be, okay, V into Y. Okay, so but here it should be Y by 2. Clear? So because it's C by 2, so 63,508 into J 45 into 10 raised to minus 5 by 2. So this comes out to be J 14.3. So go step by step. So after IR, IC1, after IC1, I have to calculate the resultant IL. So the line current IL, okay. So the line current IL will be what? Okay, so you have written already the expression for that. It's IR plus IC1. You are having IR, you are having IC1. So write down IL is IR plus IC1. Okay, add it up, and the resultant that we are getting is 262.4 minus J 182.5. Okay, then sending end voltage. Okay, sending end voltage Vs. Okay, so Vs is as I told you Vr plus IL into Z. So it is Vr plus IL into Z. So you substitute the values and the answer that I got here is 82,881 at an angle 11.47 degrees. Okay. So now this is what, okay, your sending end voltage again all are on per phase basis. I need to find out line to line voltage. So line to line voltage will be what? 82,881. Here you have divided by root 3. Now you multiply by root 3. That's it. Okay, so you will get the answer as 143.55 kV. Okay, then what is remaining now? We have to calculate IC2. Okay, and from that I am going to get IS. Okay, so just see here. Okay, IC2 is remaining and IS is remaining. You have found out VS. IR is over, IC1, IL, okay, everything is over. So only IC2 and IS are pending now. So write the expression for IC2. So IC2 will be again J into Vs into Y by 2. Okay. So here it was VR, now it is Vs. So here you are getting the answer minus 3.81 plus J 18.25. Okay. Then what is IS? So look at the phasor diagram. So it will be IS, it will be IL plus IC2. Okay. So it is IL plus IC2. Okay, so the answer that I got here is 306.4 at an angle minus 32.4 degrees ampere. So magnitude IS. Okay, so I just take the magnitude. You can write it as 306.4 amperes. Okay, so this is a 10 marks question. So whenever asked, okay, I strongly recommend you all to draw the model, okay, what the pi model and also the phasor. So please pay attention to the method which is asked. Okay, they'll usually specify use nominal T method, use nominal pi method. Okay, so in case it is not mentioned, you can use any method. Okay, you take T method or pi method. Okay, it will the answer will come up same. Okay, so now we'll quickly have a glance of what is being mentioned to you in the notes, and then we'll start with your long transmission line. So I'll just scroll up here and show you what all is given. Okay, so this problem which we solved just now, it's available here. Okay, then another solved problem is being given. Okay, and there are a few tutorial problems given along with the answers. Okay, so I want you all to please solve this and get back to me via WhatsApp for discussing any discrepancies. You can also post me the solved problem, so I shall correct and get back to you. Okay, so T method was discussed yesterday. That is also being included in your notes. Okay, so I'll just briefly tell you on what is meant by long lines. So greater than 150 kilometers, we group it under long lines. So you can see there are many problems which I have included. Okay. So now just see the structure of long lines. Okay. So what you can see, so it is basically your RL circuit but distributed throughout a long length. So line constants are considered as uniformly distributed throughout the length of the wire. So just pay attention to R by N, XL by N. Forgot the pointer. And then in place of the capacitance, okay, we are having B by N and G by N, that is your conductance and susceptance, the Y, okay, the Y factor total admittance is split up as B by N and G by N, and it is assumed to be distributed uniformly throughout the length of the line. So this is the standard representation of a long line. So we are not including any problems for your syllabus with respect to this long lines, but you need to know how it is represented. So you just observe here, okay, I will scroll it. So this figure is showing a three-phase long line, okay, it is on phase to neutral basis. So the entire length we have divided it to n sections. So each section is having a line constant 1 by nth of those for the entire line, okay. So just see the features what I have written. So first is, as I told you, line constants are uniformly distributed over the full length. So if n sections, then each section is 1/n of the entire line. Then resistance and inductive reactance are the series elements. So R and L, okay, what I meant to tell you in the earlier part. So R and L are the series elements. Then leakage susceptance B, okay, what you can see here, okay, in the representation. So leakage susceptance B, okay, and leakage conductance G. Okay, so that is what I told, 1 by nth. So it is B by N and G by N. So leakage susceptance and leakage conductance are the shunt elements. So what will be the total admittance? So it is G minus JB, how we write. So total admittance will be root of G square plus B square. So admittance is root of G square plus B square. Then leakage current through shunt admittance is maximum at the sending end of the line. So the leakage current, okay, not the voltage. So leakage current is maximum at the sending end of the line, or at the initial part of the line, okay, where it begins, and decreases continuously at the receiving end of the circuit, as the receiving end of the circuit is approached, at which point its value is 0. So at the fag end of the line, your leakage current will be through the shunt admittance, okay, through the shunt admittance is 0. Okay, so how to analyze now such a long line is, we are going to consider one small element of the line. So as you can see, one small section is being considered. So we have taken it as J dx, okay, a small section of the line, and the admittance is represented, shunt admittance is represented as Y dx, okay, both in smaller case. I plus di, okay, it is the, I will explain to you what is that, and V plus dV is the initial voltage, and then the sending end part. Then you have the receiving end current, we are representing the load. So this small element is under consideration, okay, dx is the element under consideration. So consider a small element dx, so situated at a distance x from the receiving end, okay, situated at a distance x from the receiving end. So let Z be the series impedance of the line per unit length. Okay, so since you have considered small section, it is per unit length, so I have written smaller case Z if you observe. Let Y is equal to shunt admittance of the line per unit length. V is the voltage at of the element towards receiving end. Yeah. So V is, so you can see it has been divided. Okay, so that part is being divided. So I will just draw it for your reference here on the board, so that the explanation will be simpler. Okay, so see how I draw it. And okay, so this is just elemental representation. Okay, so nothing to do with, okay, you cannot say it's just the resistance part or anything. I've just represented the small part of the line. Okay, then what we do, you consider this, okay, this is the part of the line, okay, which is not visible there on the PPT. So this is the part of the line which is under consideration. So this is your Z dx, this is your Y dx, okay. Then here the current I is flowing. V is the drop, okay, across the end of the element under consideration. VR is the receiving end voltage. Then you can say this distance is x, okay, then this portion which I have considered is dx, okay, then here sending end voltage, then this one you can call the voltage at the receiving end of the element, and this is the current at the sending end of the element. Clear? So hope it is clear to you and more visible to you now. So we will just read the remaining part. So here now Y is shunt admittance of the line, V is voltage at the end of the element towards the receiving end. So you can see there on the other side. Then V plus dV, yeah, V plus dV, it is the voltage at the end of the element towards the sending end on this side. Okay, so this side V plus dV, that side it is V. Okay, then I plus dI is the current entering the element dx. Then I is the current leaving the element dx. Okay, so sending end, receiving end. Okay, two sides, Vs and Vr part. So Z dx is nothing but series impedance, and Y dx is nothing but the shunt admittance, okay, of that section dx which is considered. So now see the try to understand why I stressed on that capital smaller case Z and smaller case Y. So that was the element under consideration. When I multiply the length of the line to that value small z and small y, I am getting the respective values of capital Z and capital Y, which pertains to your entire length of the line. Okay, so capital Y is small y into L, which represents the total shunt admittance of the line, and your capital Z is Z into L, which represents the total series admittance of the line, series impedance of the line. Okay, now we have so there are no derivations, okay, but you have to just remember this formulae for the long transmission line. So your sending end voltage is given as VR into cos hyperbolic, okay, cos hyperbolic root of YZ plus IR into root of Z by Y sin hyperbolic YZ. Okay, so this is the standard formula for your long lines. Then IS will be VR root Y by Z. So see, these all are capitals. Okay, so it will be, you will get it after multiplying the length of the line. Okay, so root of Y by Z sin hyperbolic YZ plus IR into cos hyperbolic YZ. So this is nothing but the analysis of long line. So the question may come like write a short note on or explain long transmission lines. So first you have to explain how it is represented. Okay, then what is that total admittance which is represented as B by N and G by N. So there is nothing but root of B square plus G square. You have to tell the features, how it is distributed, how the line parameters are distributed, and then you have to tell how it is analyzed. So you cannot take the entire length of the line for analysis purpose. You have to consider only small section of the line. Okay, then you have to tell it is at a distance x from the receiving end. So explain what is Z dx and what is Y dx, and explain how you will get capital Z and capital Y. Okay, explain the sending end part, and finally you have to give this expression. Okay, so hope it is clear. So we are not dealing with any problems on this. So the now next most important Okay, and very interesting thing which we have to study is we have to study the generalized circuit constants of a transmission line. So in your network analysis you all have studied the two-port networks. Okay, so same analogy we are going to apply here for the transmission line part. So you just, I will just read this. So in any 4-terminal network, input voltage and input current can be expressed in terms of output voltage and output current. So here the condition is your network should be passive, linear and bilateral. Okay. So this is the condition, it should be passive, linear and bilateral. So transmission line is considered as a 4-terminal network. Okay. So 2 input terminals where power is entering the network and 2 output terminals where you are receiving the power, or where you can call it as the power is leaving the circuit or network. So input voltage Vs and the input current Is, okay, for a 3-phase line is expressed as, so Vs is, so I will express it in terms of, see, 4-port network, AVR plus BIR. Clear? So sending end voltage is AVR plus BIR, and what is sending end current? Sending end current is CVR plus DIR. Okay, very 2 important expressions. So based on this we are going to write the ABCD constants for all the lines that you have studied. So I will write it here. So VR is A VR, okay, so it's represented into BIR, call this as 1, and we have also written for IS, IS is CVR plus DIR, call this as expression 2. Okay, so this A, B, C, D, okay, so usually they are complex numbers. Okay, complex numbers are the constants known as generalized circuit constants of the line. So see the features now. So the constants A, B, C and D are always the complex numbers. A and D are not having any dimensions, okay, whereas the dimensions of B and C, so B is ohms and C is reciprocal of B, Siemens. Okay, so ohms and Siemens respectively. A is always equal to D and AD minus BC is always 1. Clear? So they have given this, you have to prove it, okay, by taking any problem we are supposed to prove this. So these are the 4 features of the ABCD constants that we are going to consider. So I repeat again, you have to express the sending end voltage and sending end current in terms of a 4-port network. So sending end voltage again in terms of VR and IR is expressed as AVR plus BIR. Your sending end current is CVR plus DIR. We are going to see now what are those ABCD for all the lines. So now these ABCD, which are usually complex numbers, so they are called the generalized constants of the transmission line. They are having 4 features. First is they are usually complex numbers. A and D are dimensionless, B is ohms, C is Siemens, A is D, that is A value is always equal to D, and AD minus BC will be always equal to 1. So based on these features you are actually having you are supposed to even write a program in your upcoming semester subject, okay, computer techniques in power system. You are supposed to write a program on this ABCD constants. Either they will ask using a T method or using a pi method. So now what we will do is, we will just see what will be these expressions for the various lines that you have studied. Okay, so see for the short line, okay, so we are neglecting the capacitance part there. So your sending end current will be equal to receiving end current. So here IS is considered to be equal to IR. So Vs expression, so you just get back all the expressions what we have written there, no? So Vs was VR plus IR into Z. So your Z is nothing but the R plus JXL. So comparing with those 2 equations now, okay, so you are supposed to write 2 expressions there, IS and Vs, compare it with your Vr and Is. Just a minute, I think one mistake I made here. Sorry, Vs, sending and voltage. Okay, so you compare it with your expressions 1 and 2. So what happens now? Compare this. Okay, so Is is equal to IR. Okay, so here first I will compare it with this. So substitute Is equal to, you are getting just IR. Compare these two, that means what? C is 0 and D is 1. Okay, so C is 0, D is 1. Now compare Vs with this expression. So Vs, we have written it as Vr plus IR into Z. So Vr is there, so that means A is equal to 1. IR is there, so Z is equal to B, or B is equal to Z. Okay, right? B is nothing but Z. Okay, so that is what we have written. So A is 1, B is Z, C is 0, D is 1. So you can easily see that A is always equal to D, and AD minus BC will be equal to 1. Understanding? Okay. So now come to medium lines. So for medium lines, again you just write the expressions, and now I am taking case 1, nominal T method. We are not considering end condenser method, only the T method and pi method. So here you will get A is equal to D is equal to A is equal to D is equal to 1 plus YZ by 2, and B is equal to Z into 1 plus YZ by 4, and C is equal to Y. This is for T method. For pi method, your A and D value remaining same, 1 plus YZ by 2. B and C will get exchanged. That's it. Okay, so that is, but of course C is inverse of B, so B will become Z, and your C will be 1 plus YZ by 4. Clear? Then next, for long lines we have written. So for long lines, A is equal to D is equal to cos hyperbolic YZ, B is equal to root of Z by Y sin hyperbolic YZ, and C is equal to root of Y by Z sin hyperbolic YZ. Okay, so again there are no derivations for this. So for this also you have to just get back the expression for Vs and Is what you wrote, compare it with those equation 1 and 2, and obtain these ABCD constants. So maximum on long lines, if you get a problem, it will be based on these ABCD constants where you know the values. You have to just substitute and get the answer. Okay, so what is the time now? 12:55. Yes, we can take up one problem on your ABCD constants. So one simple problem we'll take up. Okay, let's take down this. 132 kV, 50 hertz, 3-phase transmission line delivers a load of 50 megawatt at 0.8 power factor lag at the receiving end. The generalized constants of the transmission line are, A is equal to D is equal to 0.95 at an angle 1.4, B is equal to 96 at an angle 78, C is equal to 0.0015 at an angle 90 degrees. Find the regulation of the line and charging current. Use nominal T method. Use nominal T method. Clear? So they have given now here, okay, so it is a problem where they have given you ABCD constant and they have asked you to find out the line regulation and charging current. In tomorrow's class I will take up a problem where you are supposed to find the ABCD constants and then calculate the value, okay, but we will since there is only 10 minutes left for this lecture, so I took up a small problem. So we will find out the values. So first, receiving end voltage per phase, okay, always first thing you have to do is you have to write this. Receiving end voltage per phase will be 132, okay, into 10 raised to 3 divided by root 3. So this comes out to be 76 to 10 volts. Okay, then receiving end current IR will be, so use is equal to root 3 VI cos phi. So root 3 132 into 10 raised to 3 into 0.8. So this is your 273 amperes. So this is nothing but you call it as VR, receiving end voltage. So what will be IR? So IR you express it in terms of the power factor angle. So IR, so it is lagging power factor. So this will be 273 at an angle 0.8 power factor means 36.86. I will abbreviate it as 36.9 amperes. So lagging you indicate a minus sign. So now sending end voltage per phase. So what is the formula? So sending end voltage per phase is A into VR plus B into IR. Clear? So you know the value of A, okay, substitute, you know the value of V, you know the value of B, you know the value of IR, okay. So substitute and find out, okay, you will get the answer 94,066 at an angle 11.65 volts. Then sending end current IS, so how we have written it is CVR plus DIR, okay, very simple, okay, these problems the analysis will be very simple, okay, the answers you will get is very quickly. So you know C, D, VR and IR, substitute the values, so you will get 211 minus J36. So this is volts, this is amperes. Then they have asked charging current, okay, so you got VS, you got IS, so charging current IC you have to find out. So they have told nominal T method, so only one IC, so don't ask again now IC1, IC2, that comes in pi method. So IC will be IS minus IR, okay, this is because of that lagging part, okay. Or in other words, we have written actually IS, okay, so IS is IC plus IR. So IR, this is a phase shift IC and the resultant is IS, so IS minus IR. So you have found out IS, you know IR, okay, so substitute it, you will get it 128.2 at an angle 93.1 amperes, okay. Then percentage regulation you are supposed to calculate. So percentage regulation, okay, yes, this is one thing I skipped, we will just do it in tomorrow's class. So the expression for that is Vs by A minus VR, okay, that is sending end minus receiving end with respect to how this A came, I will just explain to you in tomorrow's class. So you substitute and find out into 100, okay, so you do into 100, you will get the value 30%, okay. So this is again a problem for 10 marks. So in tomorrow's class I will just brief about how to write the expression for regulation, and we will take up some problems on calculation of ABCD constants And then see, the remaining part of the lesson is underground cables. So that is actually a self-study topic which has been given to you. Okay, but briefly I will show you what all is you have to study from the underground cables. I will show you the cable structure, and then we will take up the various assignments, okay, and various unsolved problems from review papers.